Come have a seat and sip some tea. It's tech, entertainment, and art.
Fresh Brew.
I don't have a song. Is that okay? I haven't prepared a
That's
song.
cool, bro. That is cool. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I will
would
make
like
one
you to
for
make
you.
one up. And I want it to have like a
Okay.
long outro. That way when I'm talking, it's fading out of outro into my voice. That way
Okay.
it feels like an anthem. Like you're in a stadium full of people excited. You got the
Yeah.
okay. We're gonna do
And
high
Josh
energy.
is like, all right, shut up, everybody.
All right, everybody, shut up.
Show-
Get back to the
show
show.
back
Let's
to
go
me.
do this. All right. High energy. Okay. Welcome to Fresh Brews. Here on episode 2, we'll go over Greyhound, James Bond number 25, and a Marvel film number 6,000 something. My name is Josh. I'll be the host for your ears this evening. Today we're featuring Tyler's love of Tom Hanks. We got Sean's Starbucks cup. That's always welcome. That's massive. And Abdiel's affection for Tyler's affections. And that's what we're really excited about tonight. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves? We'll start with Sean.
Yep, Sean here. I am drinking some pretty cold coffee. It's not very fresh.
Cold
Sorry.
coffee.
No, sorry, cold tea.
I was gonna say, last episode you just told us you weren't drinking coffee anymore. So
I know, right?
I've become hurt. I'm hurt.
I was
His lying
so
just
confused, Sean.
You drove him back.
Confused.
I need coffee for this one.
I was
Tyler.
gonna take you aside. and be like, "Hey, bro, you gotta get your act together."
He's just over there sniffing coffee beans, and he's just gone already. Tyler, tell us what you're drinking, and what cup you got.
I still have my Brooklyn Roasting Company. It's been whispering how offended it is that I'm not drinking coffee out of it because I'm drinking some sort of spicy tea, and it's like, what are you, racist? And I said, I don't think this even is a race issue. And then it didn't say anything after that because it realized I put it in its place.
I'm just curious
So
what
that's
kind
what's
of
going on.
voice your coffee mug is like. Is it like a woman, or is it like a Brooklyn cabbie driver?
But it's funny because it really sounds like it's a man from Queens. And I'm like,
Queens guy.
it seems like it has Brooklyn on the front, but that's a New York City joke.
I'm
so I don't
roasting
have to-
here. All right, Abdiel, tell us about yourself, what you're drinking, and what you got.
Yeah, this is Abdiel. I'm drinking from a Starbucks cup, but not just any Starbucks cup. One that was sold in the city of Bucharest, also pronounced by some people as Bucharest. And from Bucharest, Romania, by the way, for all you uncultured people that don't know where Bucharest is.
And I might just add to that in case anyone didn't know, because they don't listen to the entire list of episodes available to them through their sweet tea episode. Okay, I don't know where I was going with that. But I was also on that trip with Abdiel, and I got a travel mug that says Cluj-Napoca on it. So go look at that on a map, friends.
Oh, that's right. I love
That's it.
Cluj,
That's all I
man.
have to say.
And I'm drinking some spice chai.
Spice chai, and I got myself some peppermint tea. I actually got a refill, more honey, but this honey is infused with peppermint as well.
Oh.
Ooh,
Which is
okay,
fancy.
fancy.
From a little place called Tivana. No, it's a different tea name. Tequility? I don't remember. It's a local place. Anyway, let's get to the show. Let's talk about Greyhound first. I know Abdiel and Tyler were looking forward to this. Our director is Aaron Schneider. He's not known for anything except for one film. It's called Get Low. I never heard about it. I watched the trailer. We should talk about that because it's an interesting looking film. It's about Robert Duvall. He's old. He plans a funeral party. Bill Murray owns a funeral home, and he expects Bill Murray to get this party together for while he's still alive. And he wants all these people to come and tell stories about what they think about him. It's crazy movie.
So isn't that a blatant ripoff of that movie where all those old guys get together and they want to do that bucket list stuff?
No, this is very strange.
Wait, hasn't that movie been done by like 20 different actors in 20 different
times.
movies?
This is a weird one. Our writer for Greyhound is actually Tom Hanks himself, which is very nice. The
The same
book.
person, not
Yeah.
someone with a different name or the
No.
same name. Right?
No, it's a separate Tom Hanks from a mirror universe. He has a goatee. He's evil. It's based upon the book The Good Shepherd by C.S. Forster, 1955. It was to come out on June 12th, but of course, we cannot go without mentioning and bringing some misery back into your lives, escapism, that the coronavirus has delayed it indefinitely.
Coors Light
So
virus.
you guys may never actually see this film. It might be forgotten somewhere in a dark corner
It's delayed indefinitely.
indefinitely. So
Which means
we're
they're
gonna
not
talk about
definite
trailer,
about it.
and it's never
Wow.
coming out. So Abdiel, what do you think about the trailer?
So I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I'm glad that I'm going first because I think that I'm going to give you guys some material
Good. That's what we
to
like.
deconstruct and talk about. So here we have a trailer, or here we have a movie where Tom Hanks is the protagonist. He's also, as Josh just mentioned, one of the writers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so already smelling a little bit of a overindulgence, maybe a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so it's Tom Hanks, World War II. Okay, perfect combination. However, the trailer leaned toward like at some point it was like emotional. Like he's like praying at one point, and he's all about like, I gotta get the boys back. I gotta get the boys back home because I have a wife. And how am I gonna face my wife if I don't bring the boys back? Then if I don't bring the boys back and I go to my wife and she's gonna be like, where are the boys? And I'm gonna be like, they're all dead. And my wife's gonna be like, I want a divorce. And I really don't want a divorce. So really he's being selfish when he
He's
wants to
actually
bring the boys
just
back.
carrying beer, and he keeps calling it the
Yeah.
boys.
And so it has like this real emotional aspect of it, and but then it cuts to like Marvel style action sequences of submarines like jumping out of the water like there's dolphins
Superhero dolphins.
yeah. And the camera is like really close to the guns, and the guns are like doom doom doom, you know what I'm saying? And it has like this really epic shots, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like movies, you can't have these two things. Whenever you have action in a movie, movies are a very delicate thing. Actions. I'm sorry, action is a very delicate thing. Whenever you have action in a movie, you have to have the movie has to somehow be kind of aware of itself, because adults don't really like fighting each other in style, right? So every movie that has action is like Marvel, Star Wars, whatever, and all these movies are obviously like fake, so we are willing to accept the action. But the moment that a movie is like dramatic, but then it has like really stylized action sequences, I'm like, oh no, what's going on here? And that has happened a few times in the past. I'm trying to remember right now, but one of them was Midway, is the most recent one, and that was a disaster. And so that's kind of the fear that I have, and that's why I smell a little bit of overindulgence. Like Tom Hanks wants to have his pie and eat it as well. He wants to make a drama movie, a World War II drama. But hey, we have some action, to compete with those Marvel movies that are making a lot of money out there. Anyway, that's my thoughts.
Okay. I appreciate that. Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, I was excited about it. I will agree with Abdiel. Like the trailer brought up mixed emotions. This isn't the first time Tom Hanks has written.
Larry Crown, right?
Larry Crown, but he also wrote one of the 3 or 4 times he wrote was actually pretty successful, and I can't remember which movie he wrote that actually did very well.
And he was also in the movie, like the main character.
Yes.
Well, I guess so. I guess that's what Tom Hanks would do. By the way, Matt Love to Tom Hanks.
Oh man, he's
really good.
Yeah.
I'm being a little bit hard on him right now. I shouldn't be, because I know he has the corona. I hope he gets well.
I think he doesn't have it anymore. I think he's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, 14
okay,
days.
cool.
Yeah, he's fine.
I mean, well, okay, so like maybe we should premise like our comments. Like obviously, Tom Hanks movies are by far some of the best movies out there, and so we're splitting hairs here probably, right? There's obviously a few bad ones.
It will not be his fault if the movie. Well, it will not be his acting that will down the movie.
Well put.
Yeah, he the official writer for the film is the guy who wrote the book,
Right.
C.S. Forster, 1955. Tom Hanks just made the screenplay of it. So whatever you see on screen is going to be Hanks. Now, whether or not it's stylized, as Abdiel was saying, that's up to the director. Honestly, that's up to our good boy Aaron Schneider. So, I mean, it might not be Hank's fault if it's.
Is
terrible.
Aaron Schneider related to Zack Schneider? Do you guys know?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't see anything
It's
about
like that
it.
Chris
If he
Nolan,
is, it's-
Jonathan Nolan combo.
It's bound to be terrible.
Thank you. It's
But be
spelled
really
completely
slow motion.
differently, but they both have the same. It's phonetically the same, so it must be bad. That's incredible. What do you
What
think,
was that?
Tom?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last bit. What's his name?
Schneider. His name's Aaron Schneider. It's like
Oh, we're talking-
Schneider.
okay.
Like
Yeah,
Dutch
Like Zack
name.
Snyder.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I heard correctly because we actually did talk about Zack Snyder in episode 3. So can't wait for you guys to hear about that.
Yeah.
You'll see. You'll hear.
Well, he doesn't want your comments to counteract what he said, so he wants to reiterate.
What do you think of the Styler? I know you were excited about it last week.
Alrighty, well, thank you for letting me. I like to draw attention to the comments early on in the trailer that it is, quote, inspired by actual events, unquote. Inspired by actual events. Not a true story, not based on a true story. It's inspired by actual events. My understanding is that the original novel was, in fact, it's a fictional novel that depicted the actions of some fictional people in the Battle of the Atlantic, right?
Yes.
Battle for the
that's
Atlantic,
correct. Yeah.
which was like the longest running battle. It was like 6 years of World War II. They considered it all one battle between like German and Italian navies and Allied nations. I just did a little bit of Wikipedia.
Yeah, this
before
is set like right when the U.S. joined World War II. This is not very long into the war.
So that's kind of funny to me that, like, okay, so obviously it must have been a very well-written novel, right back in the 50s. Classic novel that they decided to make the movie after. So they have a basis right there of written material that's, wow, it's compelling, well-written. But it's funny that there's like, there's like this huge mine of stories that people go back and they pick, wow, amazing stories from World Wars I and II or whatever, and they make a movie about it and people are blown away by it. And so it's funny that they picked a fictional story out of this years-long, world-spanning collection of actual stories that stuff still comes out of the woodwork and you're like, wow, that happened and I've never heard of that. That's amazing. So I thought that was kind of funny. Just purely the choice. As for the actual trailer, it looks exciting. But a lot of that's just Tom Hanks being involved. I'll tell you what, though, what I wanted to comment was that this movie has an unfair, I guess I'm putting it in an unfair place because I can't help but compare it to the greatest seafaring movie that's ever been made.
I'm gonna say. Can I say it?
Tell me. Say it.
Master and Commander.
That's exactly right. It's Master and Commander. That's the greatest. Man, Life on the Sea.
I remember when Tyler and I used to be neighbors. We watched that movie.
On my projector, right?
Yeah, on your projector.
Yeah.
Dude, so good, so good.
And but the reason I compare it not only is because it's like I want to feel like what it's like to be living on the seas at that time in that, that kind of Navy culture, but I also like the idea of like the hunter hunted, right? They don't know if they're the ones looking for the U-boats or the U-boats have found them. It's like not knowing where the bad guys are. That's to me, that's like a really intriguing idea to the movie. But it could be that they, the camera keeps going to the point of view of the cannon, of the other ships and stuff, like Abdiel was saying. Like, okay, no, let's just keep it from the one point of view, and it has a little air of mystery to it. And I hope it's more just the Tom Hanks point of view. That's all.
No, Tom. I mean, it's acceptable what you said, but you're completely wrong because they're gonna have the U-boats coming out of there, smashing into the boat. They're gonna be sword fighting. It's gonna be incredible.
And then Matthew McConaughey will pop out of one of the submarines, and it will be a crossover with the 1990-something movie U-571. Didn't see that coming.
And then a car from Fast and the Furious is gonna just jump out of the water somehow, and it's all in the Fast and the Furious universe, bro.
Vin Diesel's bloated face just going, family.
I'm here to steal your Corona. Topical. Look at that.
What do you think, Josh?
I like Tom Hanks, of course. I have to agree with Tyler that I feel like he was wanting to write a film about Dunkirk, and Nolan got there first, and he was like, what I got it. Let's find some obscure book and write a film about that. That'll be great. I don't know. We'll see. I like Hank so.
What do you think about the name Greyhound?
Yeah, okay, so I looked it up. Greyhound is the call name, basically the radio name of the ship. It was actually like the USS Hawthorne or something like that. I don't remember. It was a weird name. So it doesn't have a lot to do with the... They just want it to be in there so that they can be like, Greyhound, Greyhound.
When I first heard it, I thought it was like, oh, is he doing a movie about like a bus driver?
That'd be way better. That'd be so
I feel like
incredible.
Wouldn't that be an amazing story? Like I can already imagine Tom Hanks.
You know that's something Tom Hanks would totally do, and it would be amazing.
It would be.
He would be taking burned children to Texas in a Greyhound bus back and forth, and he would be like connecting with their lives and trying to care for them. It'd be
I feel like this could be a better story than what's gonna come out.
We have already seen Tom Hanks save an airplane. We've seen him save a boat. Now we have to see him save a bus. I think we're owed that.
Before we go on, did you like Tom Hanks saving an airplane? That's the name of the movie, by the way.
I didn't see it.
Phillips, Captain. No. Sully.
Yeah.
Phillips is the one where he saves the boat.
Saves the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sully. Yeah, it was great. I saw it with Sean.
I loved it.
And Sean, there's that scene in the beginning where I'm not gonna say it because it will be a little bit of a spoiler, but there's a scene in the beginning where that is pretty dramatic. And Sean was like the entire time just kind of looking through with the side of his eye just to see my reaction, and I gave him the exact reaction he wanted because I could not believe it. I was like, no. I like literally out loud I was like, no, that's not the story. That didn't happen. But
I was like, there?
Bro, did that really happen? Like.
Have you seen the movie? Have you seen Sully? Have you guys seen Sully?
Yeah,
I saw a half hour of it on TV. That's all.
Okay.
I know it's good.
Dude, you gotta watch it.
You know the sad part, like, it's sad that they actually tried to frame him. Like that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was
the insurance company.
That's why the movie was so good. If it was really about the event, then it would have been over in 90 seconds. But
yeah.
The fact that you see how corrupt some of these people are, that was amazing. I love that movie.
And they said to him, "Sir, we're going to pin this on you, and you won't be able to find any job but driving a Greyhound bus." But that didn't really happen, so that's why we don't have that movie.
Okay, our second one that we're going over, I hope you guys got to see this, is No Time to Die. I found it topical because it was supposed to come out this weekend. James Bond's 25th film and the final film with Daniel Craig.
How many times are they going to say that this is Daniel Craig's last?
I think we can all mourn because he said, I'm actually not doing it next time. Director
I have thoughts on this.
Okay, director is Kari Joji Fukunaga. I had to write the phonetic spelling so I didn't mess it up. They had the same director for the past couple films, and I feel like the James Bonds have been okay. Let's start with Casino Royale. Casino Royale, awesome film. Nobody can dispute that was a really good movie. Quantum of Solace was terrible. No, it was a sleep fest. It was snore fest. Everybody hated that. What was the next one? Not Spectre. So for the James Bond films, we've had Casino Royale was great, and then the next one, Quantum of Solace, was terrible. Everyone hated that.
Good name though. Good title.
Quantum of Solace, that's awesome. Yeah, but it was a terrible film. Then we had Skyfall, which was another great movie, and then we had Spectre, which was terrible. And now we have No Time to Die, which, I mean, if you look at they've obviously done this on purpose. It's one good one, one bad one. One good one, one bad. This is going to be a winner, guys. It's already going to be good. It's going to be perfect.
You think they made bad movies on purpose?
Oh yeah, that way they can just skyrocket the sales on the next one. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is going to be perfect."
I don't know. But if they made 5 good movies, wouldn't they have made more money?
No, Tyler, you're not thinking fourth dimensionally.
I don't work in finance. That's true.
So our director, Kerry Joji Fukunaga, his previous films were Sin Nobre, the 2011 Jane Eyre, Beast of No
Sin
Nation.
nombre.
Sin Nombre.
Sin- There we
Sin
go.
Nombre. It's
Oh,
not
I
fair,
thought it was a
Abigail, 'cause
Japanese
I never
movie.
fix some of the stuff you say.
I know, right?
I get one Spanish word off. That's incredible. He also directed the first season of True Detective, which of course I've never seen, but I've heard that it's high quality. It's one of those HBO shows.
High quality H2O.
Yeah, high quality H2O. Distilled. The writers are Neil Purvis and Robert Wade, of course. They've written every James Bond since The World Is Not Enough in 1999.
I don't get that.
Yeah, it's been the same writers.
How are they up and down?
Yeah, up and down, okay, let's think about this. Maybe one of them has like diabetes, and so they're like, I'll write this one, you write the next one. So one of them's like, oh, I'm really on, I got this. And then the other guy makes sense when he talks to people, but then he sits down to write and he has some snacks. And those snacks they get chemicals in his brain, and then he just takes a nosedive. He's like, oh, we're going to put Blofeld in this movie. It's going to be great. Or it's going to be great. It's going to be called Quantum of Solace and be terrible and boring and explode it. And then the next guy comes in and fixes everything. What do you guys think of this? Okay, Abdiel, go first. Yeah.
No, I know you just made that up, but it sounds right. Sounds right.
Sounds true.
It's the only explanation.
No, actually, what are my thoughts on this trailer?
Yeah.
Forgettable. The trailer. Yeah, in my opinion. I literally forgot about it. I don't know. I can't talk about it because I don't know what happens in it.
Okay. Did you see Spectre?
I did. Yeah, I did. I've seen all James Bond movies, and I'm gonna see this one for sure.
Right, of course.
I love James Bond.
Who hasn't seen all the James Bond movies? I mean, if you haven't, what's wrong with you? Shout out to my wife. They're connecting this one a lot similarly to how they connected Quantum of Solace to Casino Royale. It's like a part 2, basically.
Really? So it's the same villain?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
okay, I remember. Yeah, the villain from Spectre is in there. He visits him in jail or something.
Yeah, and that lady that he gets off the Himalayan mountains or whatever is in it too, right in the beginning.
That's the same thing as the last Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The villain from the previous movie is in jail.
Yeah.
But that was really well done, I felt like.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Those
Or
action
not really
scenes
well
were
done, but-
incredible. Like
Yeah.
Don't. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I just wanted to say that I agree with the Mission Impossible action scenes. They were incredible. I was just gonna say the same thing.
They're a mind-bending.
Oh, don't mind me interrupting. I just wanted to also say that Mission Impossible scenes, they were really good.
Oh, dude, Mission Impossible was great.
Yeah. Did you guys know he broke his leg on doing one of the stunts?
We're talking about
Really?
James Bond now, or Mission Impossible?
No, Mission Impossible. Yeah,
But they also stopped filming on James Bond for the same reason. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, really? Yeah, like
Maybe it wasn't a leg.
what do I want? I don't want. I have Tom Hanks in my brain. Who's in Mission Impossible?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. There we go. Yeah, he jumps off a building
Tom
and
Waits.
he doesn't make it, even though he's strapped in. Right, his leg. This is the building. His leg, instead of landing on top of the building, his leg hits. So he's running full blast like he does, you know. His leg hits there, and you can see it on YouTube. Snap.
Oh.
You can see it, and then he
No.
like falls, and then he still finishes the scene. So there's a scene in it where he's running on a broken ankle or a leg.
Scientology does amazing things to the human body. That's incredible. Just a big old
He
sip of
feels no
Scientology
pain.
before you go out there. Just keep on going. I love that. Sean, what did you think of the trailer, though?
You know, I was so disappointed with Spectre because it was a throwback to the Sean Connery villain, and like Sean Connery when he was James Bond, he had one overarching villain, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of helter skelter a little bit, but
It was Helter Skelter.
you know what? When he like shoots the plane down with the little gun or the helicopter, I thought that was like really poor writing at the end of Spectre. And then the villain, like you build up to the villain, and he really wasn't that great of a villain. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, to put something out there that I know Abdel always says, at least he used to when we hung out in New York all the time, was he wanted the villains to feel like they were the heroes of their own story. He always liked that. He always liked when the villain believed in what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
There was it Rami Malek is the villain in this one. He said specifically, my character believes he is James Bond of his story. He's doing what's right. He's as good as James Bond is to himself.
Can you remember what his goal was, Inspector? What was his goal?
No, there was no goal.
I don't even know what
Bad
his.
guy.
I don't know what he was
Blofeld.
doing.
Bond.
He didn't need a goal. He was Blofeld, and the writer was hopped up on diabetes, so he was there, man. Things were happening.
I think he's basically like the Joker to Batman. He's like, there is no me without you.
Yeah.
I'm here to make your life miserable.
To our listeners out there, I want to propose something. If we could get like a petition for Christopher Nolan to direct a trilogy of James Bond, I think that
They
would
asked
be...
him. They asked him to do this one seriously. They really they put the offer on the table, and he said he couldn't this time. And then they asked,
really?
which I
They're
really
like,
thought was cool. They
$2
asked,
billion?
yeah, $16 trillion.
Maybe next time.
Maybe later. No, they asked, who is it? So Danny Boyle was originally supposed to do it. Then they asked Denis Villeneuve, which is an incredible director. He did the Blade Runner 2049. He did. He's doing Dune.
Arrival.
So he told them, yeah, he did Arrival. He said, I would love to do it. But he did Prisoners as well and some others. He did a bunch of good movies. He said, I would love to do it, but I'm too busy with Dune, which gets me excited about Dune.
Yeah.
I think we're all excited about that.
Yeah.
But
When are we gonna get a trailer?
I mean, this guy was
lore, T-Talk lore moment.
okay.
When I married my wife, I drove across country from New York to California, and I listened to the entire audiobook of Dune from
Yes.
New York to California. That audiobook is 40 hours long, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was just perfect because that's actually how long it took me to get from one end to the other end.
So basically, you're telling me
Gesserit.
it took you 40 hours to do the Cannonball Run, which I think is probably one of the worst times.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Dune movie?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I can only
Those
watch like
special
the first
effects,
15
man.
minutes.
And then they had the miniseries, like an old sci-fi miniseries. That was pretty fun.
Didn't see that one.
Josh, I
just
have a
love
question
the
for you. Like,
Okay.
what? So the Casino Royale and Skyfall are the good ones, right?
Yeah.
Out of the last like 12 plus years.
Yeah.
So do you think what do you think is the reason for that? Besides the diabetes thing, like what about the writing or storytelling or the directing that you think like is the reason
The
those are-
problem with Quantum of Solace is they were trying to follow up a really good storyline that was well tied. I mean, it didn't need to be followed up.
Hmm.
So it was unnecessary, I guess, because they really tried to make it feel important when right from the beginning you knew when you walked in that theater there's no reason for this. As soon as you knew that, it's all about her, the whole, anything.
And if I may, to the plot of that movie, obviously the first one was basically kind of like an origin story of his 00 status. And then he has this horrible tragedy that happened to him on a personal level at the end of that movie. And so his emotional status for the second movie is to be totally checked out.
Yeah.
Just to kill her. And then you add on, so his emotional status has changed. The movie is no longer about him. It's just him on a mission, and you don't care about any of the characters. The third movie returns to bring a full circle back to his, like, even farther back into his own life and matter to him on an emotional level, and it clicked more again.
Well, that was a perfect.
It was
It's really
personal.
well done. I love that
really
title.
well said.
Very good. I think too, like part of it is the worlds were smaller, in the sense that to Tyler's point, like in Casino Royale, he's playing cards for like 40 minutes of that movie, but it's so intense.
So good.
You don't have to have like this like. I feel like there's a James Bond who like in those two movies he was like a person. He could actually have existed, and then there's a James Bond where it's like, okay, this is like Superman, like he's dodging bullets and it's like this is not realistic. I get taken out of that realm very easily, and I just feel like when it's about him and like his plot and it's a little smaller, and I think it works better.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. What do you think about this trailer, Tyler?
I think the trailer is fine. It's a decent action-y trailer that hopefully doesn't tell you too much about the film. We'll find out. They're like, oh, we saw all of this happen in the trailer already. Nothing in this movie was a surprise. And that's really a good chance of that. There may be nothing surprising about this movie. And it also wouldn't surprise us if he died in the end, so. So no, I don't expect a ton out of this movie, but I really hope it's entertaining. I really hope it's a lot better than Spectre. I went back and watched the Spectre trailer to prepare for this, in addition to watching this No Time to Die trailer, and it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, they're all very similar, aren't they?
It looks like it's going to be an exciting movie. I made a note that Spectre wasted Leah Seydoux or whatever, the French actress.
Yeah.
I think she's cool. Wasted her. Wasted Christoph Waltz. It was like a disappointment on so many levels. Some big action pieces, but it looked like Daniel Craig was just checked out as an actor. Like he just wasn't. He was there to make the bank check and nothing else. So I don't expect a whole lot of it. I can't go on the trailer to actually have a good expectation because I was fooled once, and to quote The Who, I won't be fooled again.
Oh, beautiful! Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Great choice of quote.
Yeah, it was a very beautiful quote. It's concerning, I guess. The trailer was not exciting. They brought out. Oh my gosh, are those soup dumplings? Oh.
Pork buns.
Soup oh, that sounds good.
Ooh.
Send me some of those. Here.
Oh, these are vegan. These are vegan pork buns, Sean.
Ugh, I'm jealous.
Made by my wife's mom, who's also vegan.
Just pulled it raw right off the vegan tree.
It must be a California thing. There are no vegans here, unless you consider
In
the
Oklahoma,
cows.
and I don't doubt that.
Yeah, there are no vegans in Oklahoma.
Gibbs has not seen an avocado in years.
Actually, the avocados we did have, my wife sprayed with wasp spray trying to kill the wasps that was in the house, so we can't even eat those. But
Oh man.
So our third trailer.
Oh, can I backtrack a little bit to?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have a question about Daniel Craig for you guys.
Okay.
Why do you think he's doing this?
That's a good question. I was thinking we kind of all hope that it will be like Hugh Jackman with Logan. He came back because it was just too perfect. He had to come back.
I don't think that's what it is, though.
I don't think
It's a reliable check, though. You know, like I don't know how many other Daniel Craig's movies have you seen in the last several years.
I have.
But here's
seen...
a guy.
He's
I'm
here
sorry.
and there.
Yeah. But here's a guy that is James Bond right now, and as long as the movies make a certain amount of money, they will not move on to another actor if he's willing to make them. And each time they have to pay him more and more and more to come back. If it's worth it to the company to bring Daniel Craig back, and Daniel Craig is willing, that's how the movies get made. That's just my thoughts.
That's a good point.
Same question. Same.
My thoughts are the same. I don't think there's any doubt about what Tyler just said. I think Daniel Craig has said on multiple occasions that he's tired of the role of James Bond. So yeah, so I think I don't know what I can't remember honestly what he's done recently, but James Bond might be the biggest gig that he's been offered in a while.
Did you guys see Knives Out?
Superman.
Did you guys see Knives Out?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So
that's a really
That
good
was very good.
Oh, that was really good actually. Yeah, that was really good. But
And Ryan Johnson said that he was going to
yeah.
keep him as the main character in that for the next one.
cool.
Oh, really?
I loved his.
Yeah. He said
I love
the
that
next movies
donut
would be
line.
about him.
Do you remember that? That was so funny.
Oh,
Okay,
it was great.
one last question on this subject because I have like an affection for James Bond a little bit.
Yeah.
Why do they not use Idris Elba? Like there was some traction there, and then I feel like it got shot down. People thought because he's black he can't play James Bond. He'll stand out in Sweden. Like I feel like people who say that don't like travel very much. Like I feel like it could have been. This was the time to make the change.
Maybe the next one.
And here's a question to answer your question with another question. why don't they use Idris Elba in a lot more movies?
It's true. It's true.
He's always incredible.
Just saying.
Okay, so let's go on to our final one. I think nobody's excited about this. Maybe somebody's excited. Tyler, you excited? Tyler doesn't look that excited.
I saw the last trailer had Taskmaster in it. He looked okay.
Okay, so Black Widow, directed by Kate Shortland. She previously directed absolutely nothing that you would know or care about. Of course, Kevin Feige produced it, so it's going to be a Kevin Feige production. It's going to be exactly what you know it already is. Our writers are Jack Schaefer, who did Captain Marvel. He's working on the WandaVision pilot episode. Eric Benson is one of the writers. No idea anything about him. I think he's doing rewrites for it, probably. The screenplay is by Eric Pearson. He did Ant-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Pacific Rim Uprising, Pacific Rim 2, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, Pokemon Detective Pikachu. This film fits in the timeline being directly after Civil War. This is right after Civil War, and it's supposed to be like going back to her past. Maybe a Skyfall for what's her face? What's her name? Tyler? I forgot her name.
ScarJo?
Scarlett Johansson?
No, the character. What's the character?
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Yeah, the woman. She has a name.
Natasha Romanoff.
Natasha
there
Romanoff.
you go,
That's
yeah.
it. So it's a Natasha Romanoff Skyfall, maybe. I don't know what. I'm not interested. I'm kind of played out after Endgame. It's kind of sad.
Infinity War was her Skyfall, though, right? Because she fell and she died.
Oh yeah, that's true. She died. No, that would be if she was M. Abs, what do you think about Black Widow and the current state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Whoa, loaded question.
Was
And
that for
also
Tyler?
everything.
Do you ask Tyler or do you ask me?
No, sorry. He asked you, but he said, what do you think
no.
about Black Widow and the state of MCU?
Yeah. All right.
Whoa, 2 hours later.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I gotta
so-
go pee, so I'm just gonna set him off, and I'm like, walk away.
So for the trailer, I saw the first time I saw it, I didn't finish it. I could not care less. So then I saw it with my wife. I finished it. I saw the guy from Stranger Things, the cop. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. He's pretty funny. Forgettable. Can't remember what happened. Can't even remember that Taskmaster was there. So I'm not really interested in this movie. I'm probably gonna watch it. I'll be surprised though if I watch it on theaters. I'd be surprised unless unless I'm invited to see it or someone that I know wants to go see it. That I probably happily would go and see it. But I don't think out of my own initiative I would go see it. That's that. In theaters, I mean, I definitely will eventually see it somehow.
Abs, did you like Captain Marvel?
I thought it was okay. I thought it was a good movie. Thought it was fine. Well, it was the twist in the movie was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good, and it was a good movie. No, it was entertaining. It was entertaining.
I just asked because I feel like there might be some listeners out there who like, are they not interested in it because it doesn't feature a man?
Yeah. So no, that's funny. Well, the character of Black Widow, I've never been interested in that character. Never. And I'm not necessarily, and I personally am not a ScarJo fan. I know that ScarJo has many fans out there. I'm not one of them. I've never been impressed by her acting or her looks or whatever. So yeah. As an actress, I'm not necessarily interested in what she's doing. And then the character of Black Widow, like I said, is just not that interesting to me. Anyway, so that's for Black Widow. The state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm gonna keep this really short, is that after Endgame or Infinity War and Endgame, really, I thought were really good, and make me feel like I can totally continue to see these movies. I think that after Endgame, Homecoming came, right? No, not Homecoming.
Far From
what is
Home.
it? Far From Home came, and I love Far From Home. I thought it was good, but that's because it's Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is like my second favorite superhero. I'm generally excited for whatever's going to happen next in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I am excited to see the next Thor movie. The third one that was directed by Taika Waititi, which is like my favorite director
Yes, he's incredible.
right now. He knocked it out of the park with that movie. Whatever he does, I'm excited for. But yeah, that's about it. That's are my thoughts on Marvel.
Okay, Sean, what do you think about this?
I'm interested in it. I mean, I'm a Scarlett Johansson fan. I think honestly, I feel like it's a little too late. I think she should have had a movie like pretty early on. Like after Iron Man 2, she should have had a movie. So I think it's a little late. And then as far as the directors, I'm concerned, like, did they hire her because she's a girl? She hasn't done anything.
Not much.
So, I mean, I hope that doesn't it's not a controversial comment, but I don't know. I just feel like that was a weird choice as far as directing is concerned. But yeah, I think it's a little too late. And then as far as the Marvel Universe.
But what do you mean? Wait, 1 second. What do you mean that the director Scarlett Johansson? You mean when they first show Scarlett Johansson to be Black Widow? What do you mean?
What do you mean? Like when they should have made a movie for her?
So you meant that you were surprised that they chose that character to make a movie?
No. I'm sorry. I was surprised that they hadn't done it earlier. I think it's too late.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I think she, as far as like the main cast of Avengers, she's probably one of the stronger. She's definitely stronger than her counterpart. I forget that guy's name.
Hawkeye.
I like the fact that Hawkeye was so featured in Avengers 2. Like it just I didn't care about it, and I think they should have made the Black Widow movie like a long time ago.
Well, Sean, if it makes you feel better, if you look on the Wikipedia, they officially started trying to make the film in 2006, before it was ever owned by Marvel. So
there you go. Okay, well then, I wonder
Probably what you said is right.
But and then as far as I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like as far as movies are going, and I think they have the best footing as far as where to go. Killing characters off is. You have to do it. You have to kill characters off at some point. So, I think they're smart.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Well, I mean, I have to agree that it feels like they ramped up to a great finale. They ended it. They kept it going with Spider-Man, this strange little film that actually connects somehow really well. And then in the bucket down here where nobody cares, they threw Black Widow into it. Like they should have done this when people were anticipating what was going to be in the next film. Like with Captain Marvel, they were excited because there's going to be, a hint to something at the end of this movie or in this movie, even though it was set previously. It's just kind of a strange time. Tyler, what do you think about this?
So I, just in commenting on what's already been said, I'm also in the same boat as Abdiel. It's a yacht, but not an expensive one. That ScarJo is not that good of an actress, but that's the whole family theme of the movie is a little more compelling, I think, to me than say Captain Marvel. But see, here you have kind of a boring movie, but I think Brie Larson's a pretty good actress. So I don't know, so now you have a more compelling movie, but with a not as good of an actress. Personally, in my own thoughts, and apparently Abdiel's too. And also I agree with what Sean was saying. Is why is this movie now? Even, did you know that the Spider-Man Far From Home movie was considered the epilogue to the Infinity War saga, the Infinity Saga or whatever? It was the last movie in that whole spectrum of movies that kind of ended with Endgame. So this is literally the movie that Marvel is choosing to set off the next era of Marvel movies. Why is it that what is it about a character that they kind of missed their chance back around the time with the first Avengers film? Back in 2012, they could have had this movie. Why use
Before
now a character that's actually dead in canon and say, we're going to make a prequel and that's going to be the first movie in our next collection of movies? So it's kind of does this movie need made? I think is a question that a lot of people have probably thought about. And then But yeah, I do like the idea of like her whole family of assassins and stuff. I know I was paying more attention during the most recent trailer, the one that had more Taskmaster in it.
Yeah.
And the younger sister, widow character, is saying to Scarlett Johansson that the Taskmaster is in charge of this group called the Red Room, which is a bunch of these like young women assassins, I think. And that she says something like they're conscious but they don't know what they're doing or something like that. And that made me think again about another Black Widow movie, and I was like, wait a second, wasn't the whole premise of the first Avengers movie that the bad guy was brainwashing and mind controlling people? So it's like it's another time that she has to defeat that.
Yeah.
Great writing. So exciting.
So yeah, it'll be meh.
So do you feel like they're making this movie because maybe they feel that they have to?
I think it's definitely a political decision and not a movie universe decision.
Yeah, it's definitely not to move the story forward, that's for sure.
It might be to honor Scarlett Johansson because she'd been through all this stuff, never got her own movie, and now they're saying, "This is for you, ScarJo."
Yeah, and
she said, nice. "I want to do it," so like they're like, "Okay, let's do it." Kevin Feige, he makes the decisions, so.
And on that note, we will finish it off. Just like we're gonna give Abdiel his own show so that he doesn't get upset at us, similar to Scarlett Johansson. Way after everybody doesn't care about this anymore.
His character gets killed off.
So we're gonna end this thing on the high note. We're taking off from here. We'll arrive back at your nearest convenience as soon as you guys are ready to listen. So this will be all of Fresh Brew signing off. We'll see you guys.
See ya.
Toodles.
This has been Fresh Brew, a Tea Talk Plus podcast hosted and written by Josh. Tea Talk Plus Fresh Brew is a product of Tea Talk Productions. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe, and please consider supporting the show on Patreon. Link is in the description below. For questions, corrections, requests, and ideas, please email us at teatalkproductions@gmail.com. You can also use the DM service on Patreon or the YouTube comment section. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Patreon. Thank you and goodbye.
We're sad to